Hello, welcome back. It seems we've been away a long while. Well, we have really, but I can tell you we are back and we will be having regular videos in this series. And today, not only do we try and remember where we were in the save, but also we have an end of season review, 2029-30 season, and a transfer special as we prepare for life in the Premier League. Hello, it's a very warm welcome to episode number 123 from the bottom to the top, where we try and take a National League South side, in this case Weymouth, from the bottom. That's the lowest league that you can play in FM24, and take them all the way from the bottom up to the top. And this is our journey. My name's Mark, and on today's episode we have for you that end of season review 2029-30 and our transfer special, and also we will be trying to remember where we were in the save. So we just possibly start the episode, if you join us for the first time, a little bit of a recap as to where we have got to in this series. And as I mentioned in the preamble, it's a side that we picked up in the National League South and have brought them all the way up. And basically what we did to start the series, as we take it back to the very first day that we took over Weymouth, and how we've done it is we started in 24th place. So basically what we did was on the 26th of December 2023, at the Boxing Day of that year, we picked up the side that was the lowest in either the North or the South National League. It was Weymouth, who were the team with the least amount of points. 24th at the start of this save, and 9 points had from 24 games, just won 2 games that season, lost 19, had a goal difference of minus 27, and were getting around about 17 or 18 points adrift of safety in the National League. And what a tall order it was. But by the end of the first season, we managed this. And by the end of that season, we had managed to survive, and survive by 10 clear points a second half of the season. That, bearing in mind, we'd lost 19 games in that first half of the season. We only lost 2 more games in the rest of the season, and managed to push ourselves up to 17th place and survive in the National League South. And the rest is history, as they say, because it has left us with the season that's just finished looking like this. And as you see, promoted to the Premier League as champions of the Championship. 101 points, losing just 7 games this season. If you want to find out what happened in between, you'll have to go back and watch the rest of the series. And while you're at it, don't forget, leave us a big thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification button, do all that stuff. It helps us here on YouTube. And if you've joined us for the first time, why not go and watch from the start? It's quite a good series. And at some point or other, you will catch up, I feel sure. Right, let's have a quick look then before we do a season review of how we finished. Obviously, we will do, as part of our season review, do a deep dive into this table. But we finished, in the end, 5 clear points over Fulham in second place, but a full 8 points in those automatic places. Derby County finishing third on 93. Burnley were fourth on 89. Birmingham fifth on 81. Bournemouth was sixth on 76. And at the Hull just missing out by a point in seventh place at the other end of the table. Barnsley, Stoke and Plymouth all going down. Preston managed to survive pretty much on the last day of the season, as they did in real life this season. And Luton Town, who were relegated in real life, managed to survive as well. And there was a 10-point gap then up to Swansea in there. Cardiff City, I think, already in this particular series, down in fact, they're in the playoffs to come back up. So already prophesied that they would go down to League One. Right, that is how it's finished this season. Well, I think we had a reasonably good season, as you'll see here. We got off to a reasonable start, or whole of August. We didn't lose, and in fact, the whole of September. So it was into October before we lost our first championship game against West Brom, a 1-0 loss away from home at the Hawthorns, and then we lost again 1-0 at Norwich, Carrow Road, of course it is. Mine just went blank then for a second. And then, of course, we managed to pick up a little bit of form again, losing in the Caribou Cup and Championship again to Hull City. And then had a little bit of a poor run once we got knocked out of the FA Cup. Seemed to get knocked out in quarterfinals this season. FA Cup quarterfinal, got knocked out. Then we lost to Stoke. Then we lost to Preston. Both sides fighting for relegation against relegation. Stoke, as we know, didn't manage to survive. But then we picked up a bit of form early April to give us a bit of a run in, managing to secure the title against Queen's Park Rangers with a 3-1 win on the 22nd of April, and then finished the season losing 3-2 to Portsmouth and 2-2 to Birmingham. And that's how it went. So, without any more to do, let's have a season 2029-30 review. And here is our end of season review. As always, we start with the new arrivals, and our star signing, as it turned out to be, was in fact Zoran Juric. Apparently, made 9 appearances, 17 from the bench, 1 goal, 6 assists, a 7.01. I wouldn't have said he was our star. I would have probably said Jesse Derry was. He came in from Nottingham Forest, made 42 appearances, 9 from the bench, 12 goals and 27 assists. I mean, that is some assist making, a 7.26. The question is, he's young enough possibly to feature in the squad for the Premier League. Let's hope he makes it. Other notables, Wakachuk, who we purchased properly. I think we did him on loan for a couple of seasons, and then managed to bring him in. £600,000 we paid for him from Queen's Park Rangers. 39 appearances, 9 from the bench, 31 goals. Our top scorer for the season, 2 assists, 7.13. James DeBeo from Preston, 50 appearances, 3 from the bench, 10 goals, 2 assists, most of those from headers from corners, 7.08. Phil Seeger, on loan from Everton, scored 11 goals, made 11 appearances, 5 from the bench, 9 goals, 1 assist, contributed 10 goals, 7.06. Russell Denny, who had come in from Crystal Palace some time back now, 18 appearances, 24 from the bench, 2 goals, 9 assists, 7.05. These assist makers, of course, are very, very important to how we perform. And as you'll see, Joe from Inter, it's Inter INT from Brazil. It might be International, actually. 23 appearances, 2 goals, no assists, a 7.01. A good opening season for him. 20-year-old. Question is, will we be able to keep him on loan, or should we buy him? We'll find out as the episode goes on. As say, the board think as our star player, signing of the season, Zoran Juric. I think possibly because he's 19, coming in from Aston Villa, made 9 appearances, 17 from the bench, 1 goal, 6 assists. He's contributed a lot of assists, a 7.01. I think he could be one for the future, somebody to look out for. Transfers out. We lost Harry Ransom to Dartford, 40 appearances. He made for Dartford a 6.89. Probably the best of those going out. Alfie Prescott went to Denby. Only made 7 appearances, 2 assists, a 6.82. Terrell Angyamang went to Solihull Moors, 22 appearances, 1 goal, 6.77. Ronnie Hollingshead went to Aberdeen for $500,000, 12 appearances, 8 from the bench, 6.68. And Cameron Cooper went to Truro City, scoring 27 appearances, scoring 7 times, a 6.61 for him. The Bull weren't too happy the fact that we released Luke Campbell either, but there you go. Such is life. The season as it panned out, so we won the championship. The board expectation was to avoid relegation. The media thought we were going to finish bottom. We didn't. We finished top. An average home attendance of 5,480. Mohamed Wakachu scoring 28 goals for us in the championship. The board were pleased. I should hope they were. And we've been through the table. We'll give that a deep dive for you very shortly. As I've mentioned previously, we finished in the quarterfinals in the FA Cup. All the board wanted us to do was be competitive. Again, 5,480 was our average home attendance, full house all the way along. Jesse Derry, top scorer with 3 goals. The pivotal match apparently was a 0-0. Manchester City and Arsenal. I'm not quite sure why that's in there. Huddersfield Town, we beat 5-1. Crawley Town, 2-1. Sheffield United, we beat 4-1 at home and then lost 4-1 to Arsenal in the quarter-final. In the Caribou Cup, again, be competitive. Again, we hit the 100% average home attendance. Travis Patterson and Wakachu both scoring 3 goals in this one. Knocked out in the quarter-final by Newcastle United. And how did we get there? Well, we never played at home in the Caribou Cup this season. 3-0 loss to 3-0 win to against Bolton Wanderers, 2-0 against Swansea City, 3-2 against Norwich, a 2-2 draw, so we beat Exeter City on penalties, but then went and lost at St James's Park to Newcastle United 3-1. The season, the biggest win, a 6-0 win against Queen's Park Rangers. We comprehensively trounced them back in December. In the Caribou Cup, a match to remember, beating Swansea by 2-0. Darcy and O'Grady Mackin on that occasion. And the goal of the season, well, actually, for once, I can actually truly say that I think we actually had the goal of the season, which I thought at the time, and possibly mentioned it on the highlight, is that it was goal of the season. Let's have a look at it. Final game of the season against Birmingham City, pushing this ball around. Derry sizing himself out 30 yards out, and what a cracker into the top corner that was. And just shows you what a young star we have in the making of Jesse Derry coming through. Jesse Derry getting a man of the match in that competition. And as I say, for once, I think Football Manager has actually picked out goal of the season without any shadow of a doubt, which is rather clever of it, because normally it fails in all manner, shape or form of doing that. Just trying to find the next... I'll find it in a minute. Right, finances. I won't really go into any great deep dive of this. We've got a 5-year deal worth nearly $500,000. 6 new deals, 288,000. Pretty much green lights all the way down through here, so improving, and that's because nothing is showing up for last year. I'm not sure why, but we'll skip over that. How we lined up, this was pretty much what it suggests the team ended up. Yale Virginia in goal, Olsen, G, and DeBeo, the back line. Johnson, O'Grady Mackin, and Lawrence are the sort of wing backs and the midfield. Jesse Derry and Adamson, the wide players, with Nzingo sat between them and behind Wakachu. And that is pretty how we went on and won the league. Awards, Harley O'Grady Mackin, player of the season. Jesse Derry, young player of the season. Zoran Juric, signing of the season. And goal of the season, we've already seen it. From Jesse Derry. Top goal scorers, Mohamed Wakachu with 31. Jesse Derry had the most assists on 27. Also, a player of the match awards, 9. Jesse Derry also picking up the best average rating of 7.3. And the most passes completed in 90 minutes was O'Grady Macken from that midfield role that he tended to play. Most league goals by a player in the season, 28. Yale Virginia, the most clean sheets, 18. Jesse Derry got 9 match balls, we already know. Highest transfer paid was for Stefan Adamson, 700k. I do think we will break that record by a long shot. And the oldest goal scorer for us was 33-year-old, 97-day Ross Stewart, who didn't perform anywhere near like he's performing in our Going Dutch series at all. No competition awards. And, well, there we go. History in the making. Champions of the championship. And Weymouth took a little while to get going, but really set themselves up for the most magical of outcomes with their mid-season run. I would suggest that is a lot of gobbledygook. And actually, it was from the start of the season that we did our best form. And before we take a deep dive into the league table, as we always do, a couple of records. Of course, we are on a high, the highest ever finish for Weymouth. First in the league, played 46, won 31, drawn 8, lost 7, 97 goals for, 49 against, a goal difference of 48, 101 points, a record high points. Total of 101 points is the new record high for a team qualifying for the EFL Championship playoffs. We got automatic promotion. It's got something wrong with it. Jesse Derry created a new record. 23 assists is a new Sky Bet Championship record. The previous record assists was held by Lucas Roman with 14 in 2027. So not only did he break the record, he absolutely smashed it. Top goal scorer, Wakachu, 28 goals. But Adam Ida scored 32 in the league season for Norwich. So quite a result for that. Yale Virginia wins the Golden Glove, the most clean sheets in a season in the league. 16 in his season. I've been named Championship Manager of the season, which is also very, very good. Weymouth players named in the Players Team of the Year. Yale Virginia, in fact, we have quite a few in here. Yale Virginia, Billy G, DeBeo, O'Grady Macken, Jesse Derry, and Wakachu. I would say all of those definitely worth their position in the Team of the Year. So rather splendid, if I may say so myself. Right, next we're going to have a deep dive into that championship table. But before we do that, let's just have a quick look at how the playoffs played out. Bournemouth beating Derby County in the semi-final first leg by 3-1. Could Derby come back from that? Birmingham drawing 1-1 with Burnley. Burnley leading after 72, but Birmingham managing to get themselves back level after 86. Burnley then overtook Birmingham in the home leg by 4-2, 5-3 on aggregate. Burnley through to the final. And in the other game, Derby only managed to draw 1-1 with Bournemouth after Bournemouth took the lead after 34 minutes from the penalty spot. Derby equalising on 51, but it wasn't enough. Bournemouth going through 4-2, which left the final looking like this. Burnley playing Bournemouth. Bournemouth managing to overcome Burnley, taking the lead after 45. Burnley equalising through Mullings on 75, but just 3 minutes later, an own goal from Bayer, giving Bournemouth a very slender 2-1 win. Bournemouth joining Weymouth and Fulham in the Premier League. And that leaves us with the table, a look into the table. And this is how the season went as we normally deep dive. Just to recap, we were top on 101, Fulham second on 96, Derby County third on 93, And as we said, Bournemouth, who finished 6th place, managing to go up after beating Burnley in the final. Barnsley, Stoke and Plymouth were relegated. And as I say, Preston and Luton just managing to squeeze through on the last day of the season, despite losses. And it was only the fact that Barnsley lost again that meant that is how the season finished. Right, let's have a look. Home record wise, we were only the 3rd best. Burnley, the best at home, losing 3 times. We only lost 3 times, but we drew more at home than Burnley did. They won 18 games at home. 56 points are picked up. Derby County was 2nd best on 53. We were 1st on 52. Fulham, who's finished 2nd and got promoted with us, were 4th best on 49 points. And down the other end, Luton, Stoke and Plymouth, rubbish at home. And I suppose that epitomised their season, really. We were the best side on the road, losing 4 times. Fulham only losing twice on the road, but drew a lot more than what we did. We got 49 points on the road. Fulham 47. Derby County were 3rd on 40, and that's why Burnley didn't get through because they had a torrid season on the road, only picking up 33 points away from home. Barnsley and Plymouth having the worst away records. In fact, Plymouth not winning a single game at home, only picking 5 points up on the road all season. First half of the season, we were top, just a point clear of Fulham in 2nd place. Bournemouth were on that occasion 3rd on 48, dropped away a little bit, but managed to get promoted. Burnley were 4th, and I think they finished 4th as well, on 45 points. Millwall dropped away. They were in 5th place, but dropped away to 12th. They were also on 45 after the first half of the season. And Derby, who finished up in 3rd, were down there in about 6th place. Yeah. As it was the bottom end of the table. Preston, Luton and Plymouth were the sides in that drop zone at the halfway stage. And of course, Barnsley dropping away a little bit, dropping 4 points clear at the first half stage of the season. Second half of the season, well, our second half wasn't as good. Birmingham probably had the best of the second half of the season, picking up 52 points, as did Derby County. We only picked up 46, but it was enough. Burnley having a good second half of the season, 44 points they picked up. Fulham not having such a good second half of the season, which probably is why we won the championship. They had 42 points from their Plymouth again. Second half of the season was poor, which is why they've got relegated. Barnsley, as we've just said, didn't have particularly good. And Millwall, as we said, who were up in 3rd place, dropping away, were the second worst side in the second half of the season. Last 5 games of the season, Sheffield United having the best run in, 4 wins, 1 loss. Derby, second best, 4 wins and 1 loss, both picking up 12 points on that run in. Birmingham are doing very well as well. We were the 6th best in the last 5 games of the season, picking up 10 points from that 3 wins, 1 draw and 1 loss. But we still managed to get through. Millwall having a torrid end of the season, 4 losses and 1 draw. They were the worst. Plymouth not much behind them, but Bournemouth also, how they dropped down to 6th place, also having a poor last 5 games of the season. And that is how it ended up. Media prediction at the start of the season, we were expected to be 24th. We won it. And there we go. Fulham were expected to go up as champions, finished 2nd. Derby did really well, finishing 3rd. Were expected to finish 10th. Burnley expected to finish 7th, finished 4th. Birmingham finished 5th and were expected to finish 5th. Bournemouth, who were expected to finish 3rd, were 6th, but got promoted in the end. So they did very well. The other teams expected to go down. Swansea were expected to be relegated, but didn't manage to survive. Plymouth weren't expected to be relegated, but did. Stoke were relegated and weren't expected to. Barnsley were expected to go down and did go down. And the other team that went down, it was us, Barnsley and Swansea excuse me, expected to go down. And as we know, that's not quite how it all panned out, was it? So there we go then. That is how our season went. And, well, we will be joining the upper echelons in the Premier League coming the other way. Everton, Wolves and Bristol City as they come down. Arsenal have won the Premier League. Newcastle second, Manchester City third, Chelsea fourth, Manchester United fifth, Liverpool sixth, and Southampton, well, they had a better season in FM, finishing up in seventh place. So that is how we are doing. Let's have a quick check just to see if there are any incomings, transfers wise. Nothing as it stands at the moment. Nobody going out, nobody coming in which case we'll jump forward to the 1st of June and see if anybody's joined us. Well, here we are, 2nd of June, and nobody in sight at the moment coming in. Of course, around about the 1st of June is when all the youth players are released from the big clubs. And we do have one incoming from Arsenal, a defensive midfielder and central midfielder. He's joined us on the 11th of June. I think that's when the transfer window actually opens. It's currently closed. And he's an 18-year-old. Manuel Tego is his name. Here we go. Can play in that defensive midfield or in midfield. Currently a 2-star. Current ability has the potential to be a 3/4-star championship standard. But I hope he's going to become a Premier League star as well. He's returning to full fitness. He's picked up an injury, but will be ready hopefully for the start of the season. And that's where we are at the moment with him. His physicals stack up reasonably well. One to bring on, of course, our youth system isn't as good. So hopefully it's one for the future. Manuel Tego, remember that name. And we'll see how he does. Nothing else, as I say, in the pot as it stands at the moment. So with that in mind, we do have a transfer budget of 23.75 million, a wage budget of 224,000, of which we are currently spending 224,000. Did I say that? There's something wrong with that. We have a wage budget of 353,000, of which we're spending 127. So we've got a lot of room in there at the moment, and a transfer budget, as I said, 23.75 million to spend. So that's where we're at. I think what we'll do is we'll come back on the 1st of July, and hopefully by then we will have some incomings. If we don't, we will have the fixtures, so we should know by then who will be playing in our opening games in the Premier League. And here we are, 1st of July. The Premier League games are out. Our bank balance has dropped to minus 13 million. That's not so good. But we do have an incoming, and it is a goalkeeper come from Real Cartagena for £575,000. He is Alexi Rocos Fedrecingo. And he is Colombian. He is, as I said, a goalkeeper. He's a 3.5-star sweeper keeper. And the reason we've brought him in is because Yale, Virginia wants up and out. So we're looking to offload him at some point. He's got an aerial reach of 13, command of area 13, communication 13. His first touch isn't particularly brilliant. That could be a bit of concern. Handling is all right. His passing's okay. He doesn't punching tendency is low, so that's quite good. Rushes out tendency is 12. Yeah. His determination is 16, which is always very good. Aggression, acceleration isn't particularly good. So hopefully he can sort of build on those. He is 24 years old, and well, we definitely needed a little bit more stability in a goalkeeper. The only thing I've just noticed is his height isn't particularly massive, but there you go. What do we have in the pot? Well, as you can see, we've been trying to bring in quite a few of the others that were on freebies, the likes of Joe Linton, Angerin, Awobi, players like that, but none of them wanted to come in on trial, so not got anywhere near them. The other player that we are looking at the moment, we've offered a contract, is Max O'Leary, Bristol City international, Irish international, and we've made an offer for him, £2.1 million, rising to 2.5 million. He's 33-year-old in game. I don't know. He stacks up. His first touch is good. He's probably the only thing he lacks a little bit is physicals. So something that we probably need to keep an eye on. So that's where we are at the moment. Go back to the things. Transfer budget's dropped to 10.3. That's because we've moved some of it around. The wage budget, I did look after the 1st of June, and it did drop for some reason. I'm not quite sure why, but it did drop. So we've moved some of the transfer budget back into the wage budget, adjusted it and fiddled around with it, and we're currently spending 283,000. So we've got a little bit of wriggle room. I'm not quite sure. I think it's probably, I don't know. There's something. We seem to have spent a lot on incomings there. Let's just check that out. He'll be on quite a bit of money, I suspect, coming in. Oh, in fact, that's the reason why. I've just realised that we've got Yale Virginia has gone out to Sheffield United. I forgot we were in the wrong mode there. Yale Virginia has gone to Sheffield United for 375,000. That was his release clause, and we've had to sell him for that. We couldn't do anything about that. And Yo has come in from Internacional in Brazil for 12.5 million. He's our record signing to date. So Yo is a Weymouth player. And the other thing you will note is we have our new kits up here, home, away, and our third kit. And if you want to see a video of how to get them in your game, not these particular kits, but change of kits and all the rest of it, then I will place the video how to do that up above. Right, that's where we are. Let's have a look at the fixtures then. We have a raft of friendlies, including a trip to Portugal for our pre-season. And then we will be starting the Premier League season away at Stamford Bridge on the 10th of August, when we'll be playing Chelsea, and that's followed by another London team when they come to visit the new Bob Lucas Stadium. We'll come to that in just a moment. The new Bob Lucas Stadium, the first team, well, they won't be the first team to play at the new Bob Lucas Stadium, but the first league side to come to the new Bob Lucas Stadium. And, well, yeah, we will see that in its glory when we get there. This is a picture of what it's supposed to look like. I think in reality, it won't look quite as like that. It will hold 12,326. We can double its size to 24,677. How soon we will need to do that, we will see. But yeah, that's the new Bob Lucas Stadium. And as soon as we've played a friendly there, we'll have some highlights from that game just to show you around the new stadium. So that's where we are then, 1st of July. What we're going to do is we are going to jump forward to the 1st of August, about 9 days out from the start of the season, but it will be our new season preview. And before we have our 2030-31 season preview, back into the transfer bracket, somebody that will be very familiar to those people that have watched the Going Dutch series, Kai Jana, whoever, has come in on a free transfer, and he joins us. Had to pay some wages for him, 36,000 a week, but if he's anything as good, and it looks like he might be, he's a 4-star current ability, a 4-star potential ability, does say he's a good League One player, but I think he'd probably be better than that. Certainly in the Going Dutch series, he's very, very good. Can play across the back, but potentially he'll play more often than not on this right wing back position, which is his preferred position. So he's joined us. Who's he joined us from? He's joined us from Preston, actually, is where he's been. So played a lot of English Championship football. Played for Preston last season. Only got a 6.89. We will see where he's done. He was started out at Ajax and then Liverpool and Wolves. Went back to PSV Eindhoven and then come back to Britain. So he spent a lot of his career here in Britain. But Kai Yana, whoever is the player, nobody else going out. We do have a few other irons in the fire, and we'll focus on these in just a short while. We're looking for a left-right winger, and we think we may have found him. He's been very, very good in pre-season. Emre Gökay. He is Turkish, and I'm not sure if this will let me do it. I think it will. Here we go. This is what we're wanting. As you will see, he's played quite a few of our pre-seasons, mainly on the right side as an inverted winger. Played one game in centre, which he wasn't so good. But if you look at his stats for the inverted winger on the right hand side, an 8.7, a 10, a 7.3, and an 8.6. But if you look at the assists, I mean, he's contributed just in those 5 games. He's contributed somewhere in the region of 10 by my reckoning. Is that right? Yep, 10 assists and scored 2 goals. I think he could be the find of the season. He has come from Sivasspor in Turkey, where he's played all his career, basically. We've snapped him up, or we're trying to snap him up. We haven't snapped him up yet. We were after him. There is a couple of other teams in for him. We're hoping we're going to get him a 7.35. As I say, he has played some of the pre-season friendlies, and in fact, what we're going to do now is we're going to have a look, because he, as I say, he can score. He scored 2 goals, but there's one game here in particular. I think it was this one, as it happened. Yes, this one. If you have a look, so Armitage scored after 39. Gökay was the assist. Pedersen scored after 48. Gökay was the assist. Gökay scoring after 54. Pedersen returning the favour. Gökay for Armitage, and Armitage scoring a hat-trick in this game. Gökay the supplier of all of those. In fact, let's just have a look. 1 at one of his goals, and 2 at one of his provides. And a first look at our new kit. Swung in, and there he is. Just a tap header, but he is very, very good. This was an assist for Will Armitage after 74 minutes. Very good from corner kicks. Swung in, bullet header from Armitage. And those two could be quite decisive in our season in the Premier League. 5-1 win over Tondela in that one. We have played at home to Celta Vigo. And I think what we'll do is we'll go through the goals in this one because it's our first look at the new Bob Lucas Stadium. Here it is in all its glory. And we start with a Gökay goal on 21 minutes. Another one of those headers. Another Gökay corner, this time to the back post. And who's there? Will Armitage. And Gökay ending this one in again. He causes confusion in defence. Derry the scorer for this one. Derry had gone off, and another corner from Gökay. This time, Ellis Sims the scorer. And that's how it finished 4-1 to Weymouth in the new Bob Lucas Stadium. And we'll see more of that in the next episode when we can actually see the highlights of our first home game ever in the Premier League, but also at the Bob Lucas Stadium in any league as it is. Right, that's where we're at. I think what we're going to do is, because there are some pendings here, I think we're going to take you pretty much to the right at the start of the season, and see if we've managed to bring in these. We didn't look at this guy, Paul Aponte, can play on either side, and if Gorka comes in, we might not need him, I don't know, but one can play on one side, the other can play on the other side. He's not as good as Gorka, that is for sure, but he's only 19 years old, and he is Colombian. So that's where we're at. Let's jump forward then, as I say, to near enough the start of the season, and see where we are at. And you come back and join me just 3 days to the start of the season, and we have 3 more incomings. Paul Aponte, who we talked, comes in from Deportes. Did look on there. Deportes Tolima. 800,000 he's cost us. Obviously can play left or right. So quite useful, quite versatile. So he will be working, probably swapping in and out with Jesse Derry. 3-star current ability, 3.5, 4, maybe 4.5 star Premier League standard. He is 19 years old, so a youngster and somebody maybe get a bit of game time this season, but will potentially be one for the future. He joins us as a new incomer, and we did get that man, Emre Goke, played so well on trial with us. I think he's going to be a fantastic addition. Look at the acceleration, the agility on this man, flair, determination. He just stacks up for me. Free kick taking. He's also good at penalties. Yeah, decent Premier League player. 4.5 star current ability. He's close to his potential. 4.5. He's 24 years old. I think it's absolutely fantastic signing. And I don't know if he's a wonder kid, but we found him. He's in. He is a Weymouth player and looking good. This one, Zach G, is one for the future. 19-year-old player. He's come in from Leicester, released by Leicester, and our recruitment team have brought him in. As I say, we haven't really got that much of an academy here, so he is one for the future. Season preview, let's have a quick look and see where we are. Not expecting anybody in the media Dream 11 to get somebody in there would be absolutely a mind-blowing. Unsurprisingly, basically they think that we're going to drop out Bournemouth, Fulham and Weymouth, 3 teams that have been promoted, expecting them to drop back out into the Championship. We're 1,001 to win the Premier League. I don't think we'll win the Premier League this season, but I'd like to see us be around about mid-table if we can. That would be rather splendid. Just having a look to see if we've got any key players in here. Not seeing anyone. Yes, we have. Emre Goke and Fedorushenko, our goalkeeper, are both in the key players, and I think Fedorushenko could well be a key player, as well be Gorka, especially if he supplies those corners and we can get some headers away for those, and that will be something that we are looking forward to. We have one other player that we're looking at, Austin Ferrer. It's another one of the youngsters that the recruitment team have come up with, a defender, but we'll focus on him if he comes in at some future point. Otherwise, I think there's a few irons that we're still considering when we look at the players that we've got in on trial at the moment. Mads Pedersen, struggling with him with regards to the fee that he wants. Well, not the fee that he wants, but the wages that he wants. And we're hoping that if nobody else comes in for him, we might be able to beat him down. He is 33 years old after all. George Tanner, a right back, has played very well for us on trial. He's a possibility, and Ellis Sims could be an alternative up front to give Wakachu a bit of a run for his money. We will have to see on that one. I think, did I tell you that we've got, was it Sega that we've got? Phil Seeger's come in for another season, but whether we keep him or not will be another matter. We might try and release him in January if we bring those other players in. So that's where we're at. We will come back on match day, the first match day which will be the 10th when we play Chelsea away at Stamford Bridge in our first ever game in the Premier League. And that's followed by a first home game in the Premier League. And also at our new stadium, the Bob Lucas Stadium, the first competitive match at the Bob Lucas Stadium. And I hope you can join me for that. If you've enjoyed today's episode, then don't forget to leave me that big thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification button. That will keep you up to date with all future episodes of this and our other series, of course, Going Dutch, when they are released, and as well as any other video that we release on this channel as well. New episodes are over from the bottom to the top, released every Thursday, and I promise we will do our best to release every Thursday now going forward at 4:15 p.m. And the best way of keeping up to date with all that's happening on the channel is to follow me on X at JustOffside2. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, we will be back for episode 124 when we will be featuring our first 2 ever games in the Premier League and our first game at the Bob Lucas. Until then, goodbye.